For the next 15 minutes, we'll be sharing today's prosperity waves. Today, we're transmitting waves that will eliminate tomorrow's hardships. By receiving these waves, you can spend tomorrow as a more abundant day. Please don't skip or fast forward through this broadcast, as the effects won't appear unless you receive it completely. Today's theme is the vessel does not overflow. I'm truly happy to meet with you again through this broadcast today. By receiving Prosperity Wave daily, you're undoubtedly approaching a moment when your life will take a turn for the better. It's just a little longer. Good fortune is like water in a bucket. As you fill it daily, at some point, it will overflow in the form of blessings. Today's teaching contains important content, so please listen until the end while feeling the prosperity wave. In our description section, we introduce the most reliable method to end financial hardships. This is exclusive guidance for selected individuals, so please be sure to check it out. Today, we'll discuss the teaching, the vessel does not overflow. This is an ancient wisdom, teaching that, like water overflowing, when too much is poured into a container, our hearts can miss out on happiness when we become too greedy. We tend to think, I want more, or it's not enough. However, by cherishing the appropriate amount for ourselves, our hearts become quietly fulfilled. It's like the natural satisfaction that comes when pure water is slowly poured into a vessel. Americans have long treasured the beauty of such simplicity. A heart that doesn't seek more than necessary and appreciates what's here. Now, this could be described as the richness found in simplicity, like the spirit contained in a cup of coffee. In life, everyone's heart sometimes wavers with desire. The feeling of wanting to obtain more or achieve something bigger might be natural. However, when we become too greedy, we sometimes lose sight of what's truly important. The phrase, "the vessel does not overflow," gives us a quiet realization. By cherishing the happiness we have now and knowing what's appropriate for our own vessel, our hearts will naturally become fulfilled. Perhaps deep wisdom is contained in these words. Just as a pond with the right amount of water beautifully reflects the moonlight, perhaps our hearts can reflect true abundance by knowing appropriate satisfaction. The most important aspect of this teaching is knowing the satisfaction that matches your vessel and the dignity in continuing to protect it. In modern times, we tend to seek happiness by obtaining more things and achieving bigger results. Certainly, acquiring new things and achieving goals is joyful, and having ambition itself shouldn't be denied. However, if our hearts are too preoccupied with these things, we might spill the happiness we currently possess. Perhaps the richness of the human heart actually lies in recognizing and continuing to cherish the happiness we have now. For example, our daily meals, our homes, time with family, don't we sometimes fail to notice their value because they seem so ordinary? Even if life is simple, if you can fully appreciate it and be grateful, that is sufficient happiness. When hearing this, you might feel it's natural to want more. However, true abundance dwells within a heart that knows appropriate satisfaction. We tend to be absorbed in seeking better things or greater achievements, but the joy of being content in this moment is actually the most valuable treasure. Even in a simple life, the heart that continues to cherish it is irreplaceable happiness. Let me explain the teaching. The vessel does not overflow through some easy-to-understand examples. Consider an incident at a company. New employee Mr. A quietly focused on his work while other employees were desperately trying to impress. Without achieving particularly flashy results, sometimes he was told to be more proactive. But at some point, he realized that steadily handling what he could do now was what mattered. After that, he continued to work sincerely in his position, without worrying about others' achievements. This quiet attitude strangely began to move the hearts of his colleagues. The number of people who thought it was fine to grow steadily rather than overreaching increased, and eventually, the whole workplace changed to a calm atmosphere. Here's another example from a home setting. Mrs. B maintained a careful lifestyle despite its simplicity. She couldn't afford special luxuries, but treasured daily meals and cherished time with family. One day, her daughter said to her, "Mom, you always look so happy." Mrs. B gently answered, "I'm perfectly happy with what I have, even without having many things." From then on, everyone in that family began to notice the happiness surrounding them, and opportunities to exchange words of gratitude increased. Rather than pursuing things they wanted, they cultivated hearts that treasured what they already possessed. In these small daily realizations, the teaching the vessel does not overflow truly lives. By not seeking more than necessary and cherishing what we have now, genuine abundance is created. What's important is maintaining a heart that recognizes the happiness that exists here and now. By not being controlled by endless desires and cultivating a quietly grateful heart, this attitude ultimately enriches the hearts of those around you as well. Surely there are people around you who live similar lifestyles. This is evidence that the teaching, the vessel does not overflow, continues to quietly function in our lives today. Here's an important point: the mindset of the vessel does not overflow holds deep meaning for improving financial fortune as well. This is because a pure heart that knows contentment naturally attracts good circumstances. For example, there was such an incident. Miss A, who worked part-time, previously spent her days anxious that she needed to earn more. But at some point, she realized that being grateful for what she had and cherishing it was true wealth. From then on, she cut back on waste, used what she had carefully, and only bought necessities. She then began saving little by little with the extra she had. Then something wonderful began to happen. The habit of valuing things became second nature, and she naturally became good at saving. She began repairing things that were about to break and using food ingredients without waste. Before she knew it, her savings had definitely increased more than before. The example of Mr. B is also interesting. Mr. B was by no means wealthy, but he cherished the feeling of gratitude for his current life. Then one day, he discovered that an antique he had treasured for many years was actually worth over $10. He deeply felt that there are unrecognized treasures in our daily lives. In this way, the mindset of the vessel does not overflow can bring about financial improvement in unexpected ways. Not being greedy, but being grateful for and treasuring what you have now, this accumulation naturally attracts good circumstances. Perhaps in an age where material wealth is sought after, cherishing the happiness we currently have may instead invite certain blessings. The teaching. The vessel does not overflow. Engraved in our hearts and put into practice will surely bring rich harvests to our daily lives. It may not come in flashy forms, but it will enrich our lives steadily and certainly. We've been discussing the teaching of the vessel does not overflow. But simply knowing its meaning cannot realize true abundance. It's through daily mindfulness and accumulated actions that it eventually bears fruit as improved financial fortune. From here, I'll introduce specific methods to practice this teaching. These aren't difficult at all. Rather, they're methods anyone can begin in their daily lives. So please don't worry. The first is a heart of gratitude. Begin with the habit of being thankful for things you take for granted in your current life. Even if you can't enjoy great luxuries, notice the small daily happinesses and cultivate a heart that cherishes them. Gratitude can be described as living while quietly feeling the richness that exists in this moment. Perhaps few people in everyday life notice the value of what they already have. Finding swift joys in daily life, like being able to spend today safely or living comfortably, try to discover these in your daily life. The second is a heart of moderation. Let go of various desires you encounter in life and attachments that seek more. You might sometimes feel dissatisfied when comparing yourself with others. That person bought a new car, or the neighboring house has such nice furniture. However, by calming such comparative thoughts, your heart mysteriously becomes lighter. Value the attitude of knowing appropriate satisfaction without seeking more than necessary. By doing so, you'll likely realize that you actually have sufficient abundance. The third is mindful living. This practice is deeply related to financial fortune. Begin by not treating things roughly and cherishing what you currently have. For example, neatly fold clothes you no longer wear and recycle them, or repair things that can still be used and treasure them. Use food ingredients without waste, and transform leftovers into new dishes with ingenuity. It may seem trivial, but such mindfulness naturally invites good circumstances. A heart that cherishes things mysteriously has the power to attract new abundance. Moreover, as your heart of gratitude for what you have deepens, you'll be able to obtain satisfaction in the true sense. In these three practices, the mindset of not seeking more than necessary is most important. A pure attitude of simply accumulating days naturally attracts abundant encounters. You don't need to do everything perfectly at once. Start with what you can do, practicing gradually without rushing. The accumulation of small mindfulness will surely bring rich harvests to your life. Today, I explained the vessel does not overflow. As proof that you watched this video, please write your wish as a comment. I will carefully view each one and certainly offer prayers from my heart toward your wishes. Finally, I'll send the most powerful waves for 1 minute. Please receive the waves quietly with the screen on. Have a good day today.